you've seen this, so don't spoil it for your neighbor. Everybody, so if you haven't been here, I need to get a volunteer, someone who would like to come up and help me. Okay, come on up, sir. Awesome. So, we're going to talk about water today and soda and diet soda and how good it is for you. So first thing we're going to do is, I want you to tell me what you think this can of soda is going to do when I drop it in here. If it's going to sink or you think it's going to flow. Wrong.
Strike one.
Okay, so why did you think it was going to flow? Just curious.
Most pop cans do.
Okay, so this one.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna sink.
Okay.
He's like trick question.
So what about this one?
Wait, is that caffeine free?
It's free. This one's just Diet Pepsi. How about that?
That'll float.
You think it floats?
Yeah.
Okay. He's right.
Yeah.
It floats. Do you know why?
I'm guessing it's the sugar.
It's the sugar. This one's caffeine free, so let's see if that makes a difference. It still floats.
It
It's
is
diet.
diet.
It's diet. Yeah. So, thank you so much. So anyways, the point of this is that the sugar that's used in these, the sweet and low or equal or whatever that is, actually has a less density than regular sugar that's in these. Does anybody know how much sugar is in a can of soda?
Way too much. Lots.
12 teaspoons? No, but close. It's actually 9 teaspoons. So on the can, it says how many grams are in it. And it says that there's, let's see, how much sugar. I think that there's like some grams sugar. Oh, 40 grams. Does anybody know how much 40 grams is or what it looks like?
Raise my blood sugar about 300 points.
Yeah.
Good job. So if you've taken chemistry, you could look at that and see, but looking at it, can you guys like tell like maybe how many packets of sugar?
It's 1.5 ounces. Almost.
An ounce and a half. Okay. So can I get you to come up here?
I would guess it's a
Come
lot.
on, yeah, come up here. I need you to tell me how many 40 grams is. I'm gonna start putting them in your hand. You tell me when to stop, okay? When you think 40 grams is up, okay? 6, 7, 8, when do you think? 9, 10, when do you think to stop?
Probably about 20
No.
more.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's 19 sugar packets. Show everybody. 19 sugar packets are what's in your sugar. Or in your soda, sorry. Anyways, thank you so much. Let's move on with the presentation. So bear with me, because I actually made this presentation last year. Thanks. I made this last year, but it's going to be great anyways. You guys are going to learn something great. Cindy, can you pass around the handouts? So I have handouts so you guys can kind of follow along, and so that you guys can take them home with you, and maybe you'll remember something important, or maybe not. So my background, my name is Audrey Williams, and I'm a certified health education specialist. I got my bachelor's degree in public health, which covers a variety of things, but nutrition is one of them. And then I went on and studied for the CHES exam, which is a certified health education specialist, and I took that national exam and passed. So I'm a licensed health educator, and I'm licensed to teach a variety of topics, and this is one. So, let me get on with the presentation. Have you guys been doing all your things this week? It's awesome. I've been doing it. I even got my husband doing it this year. It's gonna be great. Last year I was pregnant, so I wasn't able to. You know, it makes it harder when you're pregnant because you get so concerned about your health. So first we're gonna talk about diet soda, and then I'm gonna talk to you guys about water. So this presentation was created pretty much to compare the two, because there's so many people when you say drink water, they say, can I drink diet soda? And so people don't really know, you know, how healthy diet soda is compared to water, and you know, if you really can substitute the two. So this is just kind of a funny comic that I found, and I just kind of threw a few of these in. Yeah, a diet soda too, right? This totally fat guy. Everybody's seen this. Like, I'm gonna order like, you know, a couple Big Macs or whatever, and then I'm gonna throw in a diet soda because I'm on a diet or whatever. You guys have seen this, you know? Okay, so diet soda, we're gonna talk about aspartame, which is the sugar in the equal and the sweet and low. Causes you to crave other sweets. So, all of this information is from studies. It's not just from me talking or whatever. It's from studies that have been found to be true. And if you have any questions, please just raise your hand or just start talking like this lady. And so I can, you know, make sure everybody's understanding the information that I'm giving, okay? So the reason why aspartame causes you to crave other sweets is because it goes down into your system when you're drinking your soda. And this is kind of a lot why they encourage your soda drink when you're at fast food restaurants. It goes down to your system and the receptors for your brain says, I'm getting sugar, I'm getting sweets. And normally sweets are associated with carbohydrates, which are nutrition. So it says to your body, I'm getting nutrition. And so your body, your brain is saying, okay, well, you know, bring it on, let's do it. But then it goes down and realizes that there's nothing there. It's empty, that's empty calories. And so it actually makes you crave more sweets because it's wanting the nutrition that it actually told, the receptors told your brain that you're getting something sweet, which is nutrition, because sugars are nutrition. There's good sugars and there's bad sugars, okay? The sugar that you find in fruit is fructose, it's good. The sugar that you find in milk is lactose, it's good. Those are called natural sugars. Those are the sugars your body wants. But added sugars are the sugars that we find in sweets and in sodas and stuff. And this is not good. It stores as fat a lot of the time, or it's burned as energy. But I think we all know, you guys probably know and I know, how much sugar you're getting a day and how much energy you're burning a day. You guys exercising right now? I am. I'm like totally sore. We're doing the program too. I don't know about you guys, but I think about sometimes when I'm eating, how is this balancing for me? Like, how much exercise have I done today in comparison to how much sugar have I eaten today, or how much have I eaten today? How does that balance? And if it's not balancing out, then it's being stored in your body. And when it's stored in your body, your liver, its primary function is to take the cells that are storing the fat and turn it into usable energy. We're going to get into that a little bit later, and I want to talk about the functions of our kidneys and our liver. But, let's see, it contains a large amount of sodium, which causes dehydration. Sodium pulls water out of your cells, okay? So, you know, that's causing dehydration because you're not getting the fluid in your cells. And it's also, with the caffeine, it's also a diuretic. It's just going straight through your system. It's pulling it out of your cells and you're peeing it out. So it's a diuretic, caffeine. We're going to go on and talk about more about that a little bit later. But my presentation is only 15 minutes, so I'm just kind of going to try to buzz through this and give you guys the most important information. Increases stomach acid levels, headaches, anxiety, jitteriness, insomnia. This is all caffeine. This is all the bad stuff in caffeine. Contains carbonic acid and phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is actually unique to cola drinks, and it rots your teeth and bones. Phosphoric acid is interesting because when it goes into your bloodstream, when the phosphoric acid's in your bloodstream, your body neutralizes it by hydrogen and calcium. And if your bloodstream doesn't have calcium in it, and most of us don't have calcium in our bloodstream all the time, because how many of you guys are eating cheese and milk on a regular basis? How many of you guys are getting your calcium? Do you guys know that you're getting your calcium? If it's not in your bloodstream, then it actually takes the calcium from your bones. And phosphoric acid is actually unique to cola drinks, and it'll take from your bones if you're not eating the calcium regularly, if it's not in your blood system. I've only got like 5 or 6 slides though, so I'm going to try to hurry through. If you guys do have questions, be sure to ask. Causes weight gain and belly fat, okay, which causes diabetes and heart disease. Everybody knows this. Okay, in a study, 3 or more servings a day of diet soda doubled people's risks of being obese after 7 years. This is just kind of a cute thing I found, because we all know somebody like this who is always filling up their big gulps, and they're like, it's a diet soda, it's okay. I can just drink as many of these as I want. You guys know somebody like that? Are you guys like that? Do we have people in the audience right now like that? Drinking their big gulps all day long? I know for me, I get addicted, and my husband knows it. It's horrible. It's horrible. Like, when I start drinking soda, this is why I don't drink soda. It's because I get so addicted to it. I'm like, oh, I gotta go fill up my drink, gotta get my Mountain Dew or whatever. Because this is my personality, I suppose. Maybe you guys have this issue too. I'm not perfect. But so I just don't drink it. I quit drinking it, and I just try not to drink it at all. Anyways, this study that it's talking about was actually among nurses in the 80s. And in the 80s, there was a group of nurses who decided to do this. And over 7 years, it says that it doubled, but it actually made their waist circumference around 500% greater than those who didn't drink soda. It's true. This study that they did is among nurses. It slows your kidney function, resulting in a 30% decline in your kidney function. And that was actually out of the same study. These same women, their kidneys were slowed 30% after 7 years. I don't know.
That's diet soda or soda in general?
Diet soda. These nurses who said, I drink diet soda, and then the other group said they're just drinking water over 7 years. And their waist circumference was 500% bigger than their counterparts. And their kidney function declined 30% over 7 years. And it was only among women, nurses, so they don't know if it really affects men the same way, but this is women. So the reason why that this happens is because your kidneys are responsible for filtering out your blood. So when our bodies become acidic, and the aspartame in the diet sodas is actually interpreted as a toxin. So when your body signals that toxin, your blood through your kidneys filters it. And when your kidneys are bogged down with all this going on, your liver will start kicking in and doing the job of the kidneys. Your liver's primary function is to take fat cells and metabolize them into usable energy. So when your liver is not able to do that because instead it's doing the job of the kidneys, you actually hang on to the body fat because your liver is supposed to be taking the fat and turning it into energy, but your liver will do the job of the kidneys, which is filtering the blood if there's a lot of acid going through. So if you're drinking a lot of soda and there's a lot of acid going through your blood system, then your liver's not going to be able to do its job and get rid of the fat. That's the point of that. I hope that was kind of clear because it's kind of confusing too. So this is just a little clever thing I found online. Unfortunately, 100% of people who drink water will die. Statistics can say anything, right? It's true. But we all know that soda causes obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, kidney problems, and a number of other metabolic dysfunctions. When drinking soda regularly, you're also not getting the benefits of water, which is just keeping you hydrated and keeping your cells working right. So they say, so now I'm going to move on to the water. So there's another handout, and it's the one water. And the reason why I gave you guys these handouts is because you can follow along. And also, so when you get home, you guys can just like look back if maybe you want a reminder. Because this is really good information for you. You guys are living this diet right now. You guys are doing the water thing. So it's good to know. Okay? They say 8 glasses a day keeps the fat away. They call it the magic potion for weight loss. It suppresses your appetite naturally. It helps the body metabolize stored fat. And it keeps fluid retention at bay. An overweight person needs more water than a thin one. So on your little handout there, I've got the little, I've got the equation for that or whatever. It says an average person should drink 8 8-ounce glasses a day. However, an overweight person needs an additional glass of water for every 25 pounds over you are. So you guys know your weight. And if you're every 25 pounds over, you actually need an extra glass of water. So you guys can do the math on that. It's right there. You guys could do that if you are interested in that. How water affects the body. So we're back in health class now. You guys remember this in high school or college or something? We all know this. It moistens your tissues. It lubricates your joints. It helps prevent constipation. It keeps you moving regularly. Okay, it dissolves minerals and carries nutrients and oxygen through the cells. What's interesting is we take water for granted and we just think, oh, we can just get it in anything we want, you know, we could just get it. But it actually, if you go several days without water, your blood becomes like gummy, and it is the one thing that if you go without it for too long, it'll kill you faster than not eating, okay? So I wanted to say something else that I just wrote on my notes real quick, but I don't want to make sure to leave it out. Oh, this is about caffeine, okay? This is really interesting too. Caffeine, let's see, the water and caffeinated drinks. Okay, so this is talking about like coffee or tea or sodas or other things that have caffeine in it. It says that the water in caffeinated drinks travels through your body too quickly to be used. So anyways, this is the point of it, that it's hardly entered into the bloodstream when your kidneys are excreting the fluid out of it, and then it's eliminated before it has time to even get into the intracellular space. So that's the problem with it being a diuretic, is because it speeds up, it makes you have high blood pressure, speeds up your metabolism, it's pounding your fluid through you. So your coffee had water and your tea had water, but the caffeine in it sped up your blood pressure so much that it's pounding it through your system, and it didn't even make it into the cellular space, into the intracellular space, which is inside the cell, not on the outside of the cell. It just went straight through you. So really, what's the point of drinking your fluid if it's just going to be pounding right through you? If you're peeing every 10 minutes, you know, we all know it. We all know when we drink a lot of caffeine that it's just like blowing right through you and it's not doing you any good. So anyways, do we have any questions? Because that's the end. Just kind of went through really fast. Everybody was really quiet. Very quiet. Is there any questions? I see a lot of people from last year, so you guys got the same speech last year, but it is really helpful. It's a good reminder. It's a good reminder about diet soda and water.
Should we be drinking more if it working out?
Yes, for sure, because you're excreting it through, you know, you're sweating it out. So it's coming out of your cells, it's going into the extracellular space, and it's just coming straight out of you. So make sure you're drinking lots of water, because you want to stay hydrated.
So what other drinks are good to drink other than just plain water? What can you drink?
For me, I like to drink things that aren't caffeinated, just because you can, you know, replace with water. But as far as Cindy is talking, and this is all water, like for the challenge, because she wants you to get in the habit of drinking water. But
I've been drinking a lot of water, but I've
Yeah.
been like alternating between, I've been drinking like 4 bottles of water a day.
yeah,
These, and those are 20 ounces each.
well, you can't
So-
count it, but for me, I drink like taro or non-caffeinated tea or Crystal Light. Like I drink stuff like that to keep my water up, but not for this challenge, you can't.
But it's got the aspartame in it because it's diet.
Yes, that's true. But
So, but that's just water.
That's what I do.
I was only using the bottle.
okay. Yes.
I'm wondering, there's natural sweeteners as well, like stevia and others, those have the same bad effects as aspartame, or the other kind of sweeteners, are they okay?
They haven't done the studies on it, but they're all totally different. They use different chemical compounds, which is crazy. And they haven't done any conclusive tests on them, on which is better and which is worse. They say that a lot of them are cancer causing, but they don't have any proof on it yet, so you can't really say that. Yeah. Okay, anything else?
How many of you, the water is easy? How many of you struggle?
I struggle when I go out.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Audrey.
Okay.
Restaurants and places like that, the water tastes
Yeah,
good.
so the first day, and I have to tell you that I've been working on trying to drink this much water for several years. And the first day I didn't quite get to my 64 ounces, and let me tell you why. Okay? And I know why, and this is kind of leading into what our habits are all doing, but I actually went out to eat lunch, which I don't usually do, and instead of having water, I had a soda, which I don't very often, but occasionally I do. And the reason I had a soda is because at this place that I went, the water isn't any good. I'm really picky about what my water tastes like. I have a filter in my water bottle, and so had I drank water at my lunch, I would have easily made my 64 ounces. But it was a choice that I made, and then I didn't do it. And then last night, how many of you have the bottle of water sitting next to your bed so you can finish that last little bit? Then you have to get up in the middle of the night, but still. And so you kind of have to pace yourself. So how much have you drank already so far today? 64. Already 64? Who's below 40? See, and Julie struggles too. Julie and I know we struggle, but we're working on it. We're getting better, aren't we? So I'm past my 40 ounces already today. I'll make it easy today, right? But it just depends on when you start. If you wait and start after lunch, you're in trouble for most of us, right? It's kind of an all-day thing. So kind of keep that in mind. So I just want to give you just a little bit of background on this healthy habits. First of all, it was designed to improve your overall wellness by participating in a group and engaging in healthy activities. The focus is our health assessment, which we do at the beginning and the end. I really don't like to do it without that because you can't see progress. And so that's why I think it's good. And besides that, it makes you very aware of where you're at. Did it surprise any of you? It shouldn't have depressed you because it's just a starting point. So don't be depressed over it because it's a good starting point. And you will see progress. It also focuses on physical fitness, nutrition, and well-being. That's why you have things in there like the compliments and different things like that. This year we have just over 50 people registered that are competing as teams or individuals. And let me tell you our team names because they're pretty awesome. We have the Hot Tamales. We have the Pink Pigs. We have Young Women at Heart. We have 4W1M. We have the Fatty Patties. And we have the Yardley Women. So basically with this program, we are using competition as a motivator. And those of you that are on teams are competing as teams, but also as individuals. So if you're not on a team, you're still competing against everybody. And we're also using cooperation. This right here is pretty much your support group, right? And so you're going to say, oh, has it been hard not to talk on your phone? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No problem.
No problem. Okay, so I get in the car to go home, and boy, I have a long commute. Almost 5 minutes, right? So I get in the car to go home, and my cell phone rings. And by the way, I have Bluetooth. And so it rings, and I'm like, I can't answer my phone. And it's ringing, and it's ringing. I'm like, can I make it till I go home? I'm sure it's an emergency, right? It's not an emergency. I made it clear until I got home, that 5 minutes. And then I could answer the phone. And like today, Audrey was trying to get me. And I'm trying to get her and her, and my phone's ringing. I know it's Audrey, and I know she has a question about whether I got all her stuff for her. I'm like, I can't answer my phone. And so if you're having withdrawals, you're not alone, right?
You can always pull over.
You can pull over. But I think I can make it for 5 minutes. I really think I can. Because it's not a complete emergency. So,
What's bad is when one team member makes the other
Yes.
team member answer the phone, and I did that today.
I know, my husband's doing
I pulled
it,
over.
and he went clear to Moab yesterday.
Already?
And I'm like, I wonder when he'll be home. I can't call him because he can't answer his phone. Did we survive? We all survived, and it was fine. So, no, you're not alone, because this is your support group, okay? And one thing that I want you to know, and you might not like me for this, but this is not a weight loss program, and I hope you didn't come in here with thinking it was completely a weight loss program. That being said, last year, because people changed their wellness habits, they lost weight. So, I think you'll still see those results, but if you came just to lose weight, I think you might be disappointed, because it's more of an overall. But like I say, I would say 90% of them last year did lose weight. So my focus is not on the number on the scales, it's on more on wellness. And I hope that you kind of will look at that. Some things that you really need to know is make sure you record your points every day. Just keep track of them because it's hard to go back and remember. How many of you have trouble with compliments? You get at the end of the day and think, did I say something nice to say? I was like, I wonder what I've said today.
I think about it and I think, well, if I forget, I'll leave a note on the mirror my husband finds in the morning complimenting him on something he did.
Cindy, you're doing a great presentation.
Thank you, and you get your point for the day. Was it sincere? Was it sincere, Dave? How funny. But good job. Make sure you check your email every Monday, and I realize that you have a lot of trouble with that link. It's gonna be fixed also. And you need to report your scores weekly. So you need to report them on Monday. The only way you get your rebate back, at the end of the 6 weeks, you get $5 rebate back, is if you report your scores on Monday. There may be a special circumstance which you can talk to me about. If you're going to be out of the country on vacation.
Or if you're gonna be in your car all day, you
Yeah, and you can't text or email, right? But if you don't give me those scores on Monday, you're not eligible for your rebate.
Okay, with the holidays on Mondays, are you still gonna send them out on Mondays? Because we have 2 holidays in the mix.
Oh, you're right, you did.
Good job, Bonnie.
Good job. I will give you until Tuesday
Question.
on the
Okay.
holidays. Yes.
The link that we're going to, is it the Google Docs like the?
It is, and what it should do is it should just come up and it will say, type in your name and your score next time. And that's all you'll have to do, and it goes right to my Google Docs, and then it comes up in the spreadsheet. You won't be able to see the document. You'll just type in your name and your score. If I have trouble and don't get it, I'll try to find you. If it's not coming through, right? Or if it's not coming through, call me or email me, okay? And then at the end of our 6 weeks, if you report your scores, you're going to be eligible for prizes. Are you ready for prizes? All right, so I just want to talk a little bit about habits and goals. That's my part of the presentation. And basically, our life is very habitual. We do the same things every single day. And the reason we do the same things is because we practiced, right? How many of you try to brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand? Have you ever tried it? It's not very easy. And it's awkward, right? It's awkward. How many of you do the exact same thing every morning when you get out of bed? And you follow that same routine?
The shortest route to the bathroom.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's estimated that every single day we have about 11,000 signals sent to our body, and we only consciously respond to 40 of those. That's huge. Everything else is pretty much a habit. So if we can make all these new habits, our life's going to be easy, right? And we're going to be way healthy. Basically, we have good and bad ones, but it's all about how we control them. Let's talk about how they're formed. Basically, our brain sees this pattern, and over there are certain triggers. Okay? Every day I get up and I'm ready, I'm hungry, right? Because it's triggered something in me that it's time to eat. Or, what do I do when I get up? I check my phone. I shouldn't do that. But it's a trigger, okay? And so we have to make sure we know what's triggering our behavior. That's the way we can change it. But our brain memorizes it. And when we practice it, it gets easy. And it's really hard to get rid of it because we can change that behavior. Let's say I put my right shoe on every day first and then my left. Have you ever tried to go backwards? I can do that, and I can do that for 3 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. But that pattern is still in my head that I put them on with my right foot first. So that's why it's so hard to make that change, is it's still there. And it's kind of like alcoholics, except alcoholics has an addiction to it. But if you go back to it, you're right back to that habit. You're right back to it. So it's really important to stay away from those. It's just like soda pop. If you drink a lot of soda and you go back to it, it's just so easy to get back into it. You're going to do it. And I remember several years ago, I got a job where I sat in an office, and I thought, okay, I have 2 choices here. I could stop and I can get my big gulp on the way to work every morning, or I could take my water. And I consciously made a choice to make sure I had my water and not my soda because it would be a habit. How many of you know people stop and get their soda, their Diet Coke in the morning before they go to work? Audrey.
I said I know somebody.
Yeah, she just knows. But it's a habit, right? And it's because that's happened to us over and over and over again. So a few things to teach you how to get rid of your habits. First, keep it simple. We don't want too many habits to change at once. through the 3 6-week challenges, we have like 18 different habits that we're gonna work on. What if I gave those all to you right now? You would fail, because your body can't do it. Even 4 is pushing it. So hopefully some of you already had some of these, and so you're only really having to work hard on a couple. So make it simple. Don't do too many. And it's so much easier to say, okay, I'm going to exercise for 30 minutes every day, rather than, well, let's see, on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, I'm going to exercise for an hour and a half. I'm going to ride my bike, and on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to do yoga. And, you know, just to mix it up, or different times, so it's easier to do the same thing at the same time.
Can we get credit for every 30 minutes? Like
You only
if-
get 1 point a day
Okay.
for 30
I
minutes.
was wondering if you exercise for an hour, if you can get 2 check.
Not yet, not yet. Okay, and the other one is be consistent. Do it every single day. Okay, and you do have Sundays off, everybody needs a break. Okay? Everybody needs a break. But do it every day, be consistent. Research tells us it takes between 21 and 30 days to form a habit, but it takes almost a year to really solidify it, 6 months to a year. So it's not going to change overnight. This is a process, right? Replace lost needs. And I think that, like with smokers, sometimes they'll quit smoking and they'll chew gum or whatever it takes. So just like with our cell phones, I have a lot of people say, well, I do my work on my cell phone, or that's when I call my kids and make contact with my family. But we still need to do that, right? So how are you going to fix it? You're going to replace it. So you're going to take that half an hour after you get home, and you usually sit in front of the TV, and maybe that's when you're going to talk to your family and replace it. So make sure you're replacing those habits. Get leverage. That means have a buddy. That's why teams work, and that's, a lot of you come like in couples or threes or teams or whatever, and like I say, this whole group is your support group. You need someone to kind of keep you going. And you know, if you look at, for example, Weight Watchers, a very successful weight loss program, part of it is that they have that connection and they report all the time. So that's the leverage, and they need that. Get feedback. How are you guys going to get feedback about what are you doing? Are you going to feel great the next day after you just drank 64 ounces of water and you're not used to it? Not necessarily. Sometimes you feel kind of rotten, right? So how are you going to get that feedback? And that's why we do the assessments at the end, but you're also going to get prizes. And you're going to say, oh, this week I only got 20 points, but the next week I got 25 points. I can see that I'm making progress. And so that's positive feedback. And so hopefully it's going to be positive all the way through. Yes, maybe you're going to gain a pound or two, or you're going to slip one day, and that's normal, right? You're not going to be perfect. Although some of you were pretty perfect last time. Some of them were perfect on their points last time, by the way. Maybe the rest of us
Are you going to be giving any kind of information on better foods to eat?
Yes.
And that?
Yes, you'll be getting weekly health tips, and it's going to be a little bit on everything, but you are going to be starting to get some of that. I'm not going to throw it everything at once. You get some new information every single week.
My biggest problem with that stuff is they always mix the food and jumble it up together. I
Let's
like
not do that.
everything separate at a time.
Another thing that you need to remember is have confidence. You guys wouldn't be here if you weren't ready to make some sort of a change. And so that means, to me, that means that everyone in here is capable of making a change. Doesn't matter where you're at in your whole wellness. It doesn't matter what the little scale read your body age was, because that was kind of strange, huh? Let's just forget about that for now. But everyone's capable of improving, and that's really what we're looking at. Okay? And the last thing is write it down. I don't know how much you know about setting goals, but it doesn't do any good if it's just in your head. They have proven that you're much more successful if you just write it down. And we're going to talk just for a minute, about 5 more minutes, about SMART goals. Who knows anything about SMART goals? Those of you that came last year, better raise your hands. So they're like, no, we don't. Do you want to pass these out? SMART goals. So everybody's made a goal before and everyone's failed, right? How many of you made New Year's resolutions and it's the 15th of January, you're already done? Already messed up, right? Or you just don't make them anymore because it's too hard to get there. Okay, so SMART goals. And And SMART goals are used in schools, in businesses, and a lot of places, and they help a lot of people. And the SMART is an acronym for make sure they're specific, measurable, they're action-oriented, realistic, and time-based. Okay? Let's say my goal, according to this, if I have a goal of drinking 64 ounces of water a day, which that's one of our goals, right? Is that a SMART goal? Does it meet this criteria? It doesn't. It doesn't. And I'll explain it. Yeah, it has no time. First of all, it's specific as far as I'm drinking water in 64 ounces. I think it's fairly specific. Every single day, right? That's specific. Is it measurable? Yes. 64 ounces is measurable, and we have to measure them, right? Is there an action behind it? Yeah, this.
Yes,
Sort of.
after I get done.
Yes, after you get done, there is a definite action. Okay, we'll come back to action because that's usually the step that we miss. Okay? Is it realistic? Pretty realistic. And is it time-based? It is, because for the next 6 weeks, that's what we're looking at. What we're missing is the action. Because I can say I want to drink 64 ounces of water a day, because I do. I really want to. But I don't have a plan. I don't have an action for it. What I'm missing is I need to say I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water a day by measuring it out every morning. I'm going to have 3 bottles of water that equals 64 ounces, and then I'll know. Or I'm going to make sure that by noon I have my 32 ounces already in. See, that action, it's not really there. And this is like with weight loss. This is where a lot of people really mess up with weight loss. Or with, let's say, we're going to start eating fruits and vegetables. Oh, I'm going to eat, my goal is to eat three servings of fruits and vegetables every day. But where's my action in that? And how am I going to do that? That means before I can do that, I have to make sure I buy it and I have it on hand and I take it with me to work and it's cut up and it's clean or whatever. So don't forget your action. Does that kind of make sense? The others I think are pretty self-explanatory, but the action one is something we miss. So I want you to look at this, and I want you to try and write your own SMART goal. One that's short-term, something that you want to achieve by the end of this 6 weeks, and then a long-term one, want something you want to get out of this at the end. So go ahead and write this down.
Something I don't see is accountability. Who do you have to hold you accountable?
Well, and you're going to write it down, and you'll be surprised at the power of actually writing it down. So try it. See if you can come up with something that you're interested in. Yeah, go ahead and try it. And what I really want you to do is take it home and kind of revise it. But if someone has one that they want to write down and they're willing to kind of share, we can critique it a little bit and see where you're at, see if it really is a SMART goal. And this works for everything, just not wellness. So if you're having trouble keeping your goals, remember that SMART goals really, it's very effective. I use SMART goal techniques when I taught at the high school and in other places, and it really makes a difference. The kids can learn how to do it as well as adults.
So how can you make giving a compliment a SMART goal?
Well, you can make it more specific, like you're going to compliment a certain person, or make sure that you do it. Last year, for example, at the end of the program, someone actually chose that to do as their own little goal, and what they said was that they were going to compliment their spouse every morning before they left for work. And so that's pretty tough to find an action behind that. And Dave, you can't use just at the classes because that's not going to give you enough points.
I complimented Jenny earlier today too.
Nice.
I don't even remember what it was, but it was special at the time.
It was good. It was good for the moment. So does anybody have one they want to share? And let us,
But I'm sorry, I don't know where to go.
let us beat up on them for a minute.
Cut sugar out your diet.
What?
Cut sugar out.
That's impossible.
Okay,
That's
All right, so
impossible.
she said to cut sugar out of her diet. Is that a smart goal? Yes or no?
No, sugar.
Not unless you.
It's not
No,
realistic.
everything you eat has sugar in it.
Okay, for me, it's not realistic. You're right, it's not realistic for me, but maybe for her it is.
I have to change it, actually eat other things other than sugar.
Okay, does it have a time? Are you gonna do it forever?
I have to.
Okay, so
Let it say
good,
sugar in it.
good. And she says it's realistic for her. Excellent. Is it measurable?
We record daily
Yeah, you're gonna have to really look at it, aren't you?
and
Because,
read labels.
yeah, because food has lots of hidden sugars. What's your action in there? Are you gonna not bring it in the house? Are you gonna eat separate from your family? Because they're not gonna go for it.
Fruit has sugar in it, so,
Yeah, you gotta say something more.
yeah.
Yeah, so check labels.
It has to be
Good.
more specific because everything you eat has sugar in it.
Yeah, and
I don't
she's,
care what it is.
and she's put down that she's going to check labels. And maybe like Audrey was talking, she's not gonna worry about the natural sugars that come in your fruits
Okay.
and things like that.
Simple sugars,
Yeah.
so that's part of,
But the artificial sugars that she's getting in those processed foods. So yeah, good.
But realistic, yes, it is, because I didn't have anything realistic.
If you can do it. Like you say, if you're cooking for a family, I think it would be a lot harder. And I don't know if it would be realistic.
You need to say 2 weeks. Did you say 1 week?
I said 1 week.
Just say 2 weeks, because it takes 2 weeks for you to not have sugar before you don't crave sugar. So if you do it for 2 weeks, you can do it longer.
Yeah. So do you see kind of how that works? Any other questions about
I
SMART
have a
goals?
hard time writing these things out. I get started and I don't know where to go once I write the specific down. And I have exercise 30 minutes every day. Measurable, I'm not sure.
Well, I think it's measurable because you're going for 30 minutes. But your action might need to be
So what would I put, measurable?
what you're gonna do for an exercise. That might make it more specific. Because I can say I'm gonna exercise for 30 minutes, but I haven't figured out what kind of exercise I'm gonna do yet.
Yeah, my brain goes every which direction.
Yeah, and so I'm more than likely not gonna do my exercise for 30 minutes if I don't have a plan.
Well, like me yesterday, I didn't exercise, but I moved, I was changing my living room around and that took me moving furniture and that for an hour and a half yesterday. And so I considered that my 30 minutes of exercise.
Right.
Because I was actually moving
So
furniture
physical
and
activity.
vacuuming and,
Yeah.
so.
All right, any other questions? Any questions about the program? Any comments? You want to give someone a help that you found that works so far? I had a couple of other things, and then I'll let you go. I told you that. Oh, when we did the assessments on the grip straight, on a few of them, they got changed from kilograms to pounds. So when you check the chart, you were way, way over the chart. I don't know if you noticed that. On the grip straight, if you were like, the chart goes, for example, the 31's the highest, and some of you were like 87 or something like that, that means that it accidentally got changed from grams to pounds. If that happens and you had a really high score on there and you think that it's been messed up, you just take that score and you divide it by 2.2 and it will fix it and put it back down to grams. So that was a little bit of confusion.
Kilograms.
What?
Kilogram.
Yes, yes.
That's 1,000 grams.
You think the scale was off? Could have been. So yeah, if you notice that and if it was a problem, we'll just convert it, and it's easy to convert. It just didn't match up with our chart. The other thing is, you guys get 6 points for attending tonight, so make sure you add your 6 points in. Just put it in that bottom line on your chart. Those people that were not here today, we're videotaping, and we will put this on YouTube, and they can watch it and then send me a SMART goal, and they'll get 3 points worth of their credits for that. So if you absolutely have to miss a class, I have tried to make it available to you so that you can make that up. And one last thing, next week on your tracking chart, there is one extra thing that you need to do. You need to track your food intake. The purpose of this is so that you can see what you are actually eating every single day. If we write it down and we keep track, it sometimes surprises us.
We have a lot of apps now do that with.
There are tons of apps that are really good. The best one, and it's not an app yet, you have to go on your computer, is the USDA one. It's called Super Tracker. And you can go in and you'll put in, let's see, for breakfast I had eggs and hash browns and milk. I can go in and put that in there, and it will tell me that I have eaten 25% of my carbs for the day, and I've eaten 10% of my milk product for the day, and I've eaten so much of my vegetable. And it will tell you that. It's really pretty cool. So you're welcome to use an app or a computer program of your choice. Which one? FitnessPal is excellent, and it is an app. So you can get on your iPhone or your iPad or like that. Or you can just write it down and keep track of it. Okay? And we will get into using some apps as we go along. I'm hoping, when I wrote my grant for this program, I had money for pedometers, and I'm wearing one now that I ordered. It's okay, but it's just not kind of what I want. I really want the Nike Bands, but they're $100 a piece, and so that's probably not going to happen. But the Fitbits are about half of that, and so I'm trying to work out the funding that maybe we can get those for everybody. Would that be cool? The Fitbits these are pretty good. The pedometer. This one's a pretty good one.
And every time you even bend up and down.
Yeah, this one's better. And the one that I have on, this one actually tracks steps. See, I have only done, I'm not even going to get into that. I've done 3,000 steps for the day. I have done 0 aerobic steps. Keeps track of that. I have burned 78 calories. Okay, so I haven't done anything today. And I have walked almost a mile. 0.98.
You need to lengthen your stride.
I do. I need to get up and get
So
moving.
does it say how many steps are a mile?
Yes.
Okay, how many did you say you had done?
Just over 3,000.
But I Googled and I thought it said 2,002. 2,000 is supposed to be a mile. But I'm not.
They tell us about 10,000 steps is about 3 miles.
Depends on your stride though.
It does. And you can and I measured my stride and put this in. Yeah, so maybe that's why it's a little different. I measured my stride and put that in. Yeah. And so it's really accurate. It's really good. And it keeps it for 7 days. It automatically resets in the morning. I don't have to think about it. Yeah. But I still want one of the cool. We'll see how it goes. So, any questions? You're good to go with your tracking your food next week. Monday, you're going to check your email. You're going to report your scores. Yes? Everybody say yes. See, you're committed. You're committed. All right, thank you for coming. I promised it would be less than an hour. And grab a snack and come on.
Yeah, good luck with that.
It already passed. I already hit 30.
Oh, Mama's in the bottle again.
I definitely am.
Here. There.
It's everywhere.
Find another one. So I go in the car, there's no one.
Yeah, I noticed.
I look up everywhere.
Yeah, you're going to have to talk to that group. I don't know.
I know, seriously.
thank you, Twinkle. Hope it was worth your time. We try to make it worth your time and not very long.
I got it. You kind of have your hands full, I'll get used to it.
I need help on the goal setting, because that's where I always get stuck.
Why don't you,
Because that's where I always try and set goals, then when it starts, and I go to this specific one, and I draw blank. My brain just goes blank, and I don't know how to fill it out. Like Ian County, let's have somebody and so I get this, it doesn't help because